This episode is brought to you by Buy My Stuff on eBay. Yes, you too can buy my stuff from eBay. Simply search for the seller, Tin Dog Podcast, and you can own some rare and collectible items. From the same people who brought you Buy My Books on Amazon. Check the show notes for a direct link.
Scanning for audio.
Welcome once again to another Tin Dog Podcast. For those of you who only listen to my podcast when Doctor Who's on TV, thank you. And I'll possibly see you again for the war between the land and the sea. Possibly. Okay, so at the weekend I watched something that has ancient tradition. There is a character who changes shape. It's a sci-fi classic. At the very end, someone sacrifices themselves in order to save everyone. And you know what? I was going to do a big description and then come back to it and say, oh, actually, I was watching Venom 3 and I really enjoyed it. But you know what? I can't even be bothered to do that. Seriously. There was this huge thing that I've written down saying all the similarities between all the characters and somebody ancient who created them coming back and using genetic creating all that business. Big parallels. But you know what? That's not what we're here to discuss. Because I've got 2 pages of notes on the reality war. And you know what? I better just get it out of the way. Honestly, and I'm not just saying this for some sort of strange clickbait nonsense. I'm probably over TV Doctor Who, and that makes me feel hollow. This is a brand new sensation. I'm 50 odd, right? Doctor Who's been a part of my life for my entire existence. I'm not exaggerating when I feel nothing except a hollow emptiness, a space where Doctor Who used to be. Now, I spent most of Saturday after I'd watched the episode just feeling nothing. I'd gone from feeling disappointed and a bit angry during the episode and then just, being told constantly just to let things go. And then at the end, I was just like, I can't be bothered anymore. I just can't. I mean, obviously I'll go through the notes and I'll talk to you and you'll say nice, supportive things, but really, if it wasn't for Big Finish, the actual home of decent, good, thoughtful, thought-provoking, interesting Doctor Who, it's just not for me. So TV Doctor Who is not for me. I knew that last year. You told me, you messaged me back. You said, look, do something else. Do the X-Files. Do Buffy. Do anything else. We really enjoyed For Your Consideration. Keep doing that. That's great. I had all those supportive messages. And if you scroll through the replies on YouTube, where I also download the podcast as a backup, those comments are similar. They're like, mate, just move on. But this time, at the very end of this, 66 minutes. Now, I know there are some real world factors at play. But that's not what we're here to discuss. We're not here to discuss whether the existence of Bluey on Disney Plus is the reason that Doctor Who got all the money, and that's the reason it existed for 2 years, plus the war between the land and the sea, which means that Disney won't be able to turn around and say, yes, we're paying for more episodes until those, however many episodes, 4, 8, 6 episodes, starring Pob and some of his mates and somebody who looks like a hybrid between a sea devil and a human in order to be a go-between between the races. I'm just guessing. appears because in that trailer there was definitely a sea devil. And this person does look more human, but does look more, well, you know what, I don't care about that. That actually looks more like a Torchwood story. Music-wise, different. The way it was shot-wise looked different, but all we've seen is some trailers, and that's fine. Okay. Do you need me to go through the notes? I'll go through them one at a time, okay? It started off with me writing things like, Alan created his own world, and so did, and then I've just written, oh, shut up. You know what? I'm out here touching grass in my lunch hour, trying to feel better. I'd written questions like, will Omega actually turn up? But it was an old sample of an actor who isn't with us anymore. So the chances of him actually turning up and having some sort of proper interaction were really low. And when he did turn up, he was just a skinned Sutek. What's the point of him being giant and coming through the gate? Right, okay, here's the thing. So, the Rani's wasted. She's the genetic genius and all that business. And I know she's using the power of the gods and the wishes and all that nonsense, but would it have not made more sense, I'm just putting this out there, for her to be more fixated on Tectuan, right? So a character who had appeared like really recently and had been involved in the Timeless Child. The Timeless Child was revealed where the Doctor had an infinite amount of regenerations and predates the Time Lord people. The Rani would be fixated on this genetic expert who could bring back the Time Lords, and would also be fixated on using the Doctor's infinite regeneration power in order to bring back the Time Lords, which seemed to be her motivation because the Time Lords are apparently sterile. Wouldn't it have been a lovely opportunity to go, we tried so many things. We even tried looms at one point. That would have made people go, yeah, because, that's the kind of nonsense that makes fans happy, except it's not, is it? Doctor Who used to be fun and funny, and I don't think anybody was having a good time in this episode, apart from perhaps Jodie Whittaker. You see, you're 40-odd minutes in and the plot is done. It's done and dusted and signed off. And then this business with Poppy the child. Oh my God, they put Belinda in a box. They put her in the zero room cabinet and they just left her to mull, to just get her out of the way. Belinda's supposed to be the focus, not Ruby. And Ruby can remember what's happened because of the stuff that went on. Here's what could have happened and it would have made more sense and you could have lobbed up a bit of the episode and it's fine. You could have had the Doctor and Belinda passing the code back and forwards and Ruby's vanishing. Not the child. The child is vanishing from the universe. And then she goes. And then they decide to go on their record. And then the Doctor talks and says that only he remembers the existence of Poppy the child. It would have been heartbreaking. It would have been heartstring-pullingly awful. But you know what? As a show, the show could have just continued having fun and we could have had more shooty and it all would have been fine. Now, all of this business, obviously there's issues going on. I'm not going to say it was a perfect episode. It wasn't. Moments like the fire from the wheelchair wheels makes my skin crawl. The business with Mel driving a scooter into unit headquarters. What? All that business? Yeah, all right. The mugs falling through the desk was a nice moment. But there's a lot of stuff that just irritated. Bonnie, I was just a housewife. Some people have kicked off on the internet going, a housewife? She wasn't even married. No, you're married to your house. You're just not in the sense of there was a ceremony. I'm not an idiot. And then it moves on and you just get sidetracked by what happens at the very end of the episode. There was ways of fixing this. Now, there was a lot of stuff going on, right? I'm trying to read my notes here. The whole episode at the end of last time was basically like someone with ADHD trying to tidy up a room with a deadline. There was just too much to fix. So they just fixed what was in front of them and hoped for the best. Well, that's just not going to happen. The Ranis, the two Ranis, you've got... Oh, okay, yeah. you've still got Mrs. Badgerman with the ability to come back at some point if Doctor Who should ever return. Do you think it will? I'm not sure. And you know what? I've actually written in red pen, I don't think I'm that bothered whether it comes back immediately or if it takes its time or if it comes back at some point. And this is me. This is me saying this. This is the person who's fought and said how wonderful Doctor Who is on days when it just kind of wasn't. And I wasn't lying. This wasn't anti-disappointment at its best. This was something else. Here's a question. What's with all the babies? I know that the woman who plays the hotel owner was actually pregnant in real life, okay? So mentioning of Raoul, that's fine, because you have to get by the fact that she's, 7 months gone in the thing? So I can live with that, right? But then there's the whole Poppy thing. And then there's the, where are all your children, Doctor? I wanted to throw something at the TV, but I love my TV too much to throw something at it. Elvis was an idiot. I'm sorry. But is Russell broody? Is he thinking I should have had a child? And there's the whole... This doctor identifies as... Right, you know what? I'm a straight, white, middle-aged man. What am I supposed to know about this sort of thing? But you know what? Russell's just a gay, middle-aged man. Oh. No, I'm a human being. Life is not all about reproducing and having another child, right? It's not. It's in there. It's an aspect of life. It's important. But it's an aspect of life. You don't have to go down these roads. And this just seemed fixated on babies. I did not have time for the Poppy storyline. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. Let's move on and look at this. Are the gods now gone completely? Forever? Do we care? Probably not. Yeah. La 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 la. Take turn. Is there too much of the old show? Probably. And this one's coming from me. Okay, next page. Was he the master of the land of fiction? No. Are you allowed to punch him? Yes. Right. Okay, let's unpack Conrad. He was two-dimensional at best. He can't imagine a world with a trans person? Are you sure? Do you know who you're talking about? Because at least some of them are already going out with trans... Leave it there. That's actually real life. Okay, so people on the internet have kicked off and said, hey, Ruby, she's like saying that your world was actually all right. Okay, now let's look at the evidence here. You're talking to a nutter with a gun. You would lie to a nutter with a gun to talk him down from his pointing a gun at you position. Yeah? You absolutely would. There's not a whole, you're just telling me that the world was, there's no room for the disabled people or the trans people or the people who you don't have time for or any of that business, right? That's not the case. She was literally being held at gunpoint, trying to calm him down so that she could save the day with her magic backpack with a button. Yeah? So, we can just move on. Oh, no, one more point about Conrad, okay? One of her wishes is for him to be happy, okay? Now, let's make this a little bit more Torchwoody, shall we, just for effect? They could have found him absolutely insane in an asylum, but happy. Yeah? Or they could have had him with some sort of mental issues that meant he was happy, but he could see the world as it really was, or something like that. Something that was fitting and twisted and nasty, because let's face it, he deserved something. He didn't just, not being without a father or a parent or whatever is implied, is not going to make him a better person. I don't know. So, let's have another look. The seal of Omega. Right, Omega turning up. Did I talk about him just being a skinned version of Sutek? What was the point of him arriving and then just being massive and then eating the Rani? Yeah. Oh, right. Ernest Borgnine is alive. then he might be dead when the system regenerates, okay? Now, this is just a big list. The Urgus Borgnine thing was kind of there to distract you for a moment, because it's followed by, there was movement on the border between Norway, okay? What else is on the border of Norway? Bad Wolf Bay, yeah? Okay, we'll get back to that one in a minute, because I've got a theory that actually fits all of the facts, and it could work. Sorry, you're probably hearing mic noise on this. That's because I'm recording it twice, because last week there was an issue with the microphone that resulted in everything sounded too loud and my levels were all over the place, so I do apologise for that one. What else have we got? The Flinks. Impossible to kill. Please kill the Flinks. I hate him. Why is he still alive? Will he be in the Sea Devil story? I don't know / care. It'll just make the whole thing look worse. You really need to get rid of the Flinks. Please get rid of the Flinks. Okay, yeah, Ernest Borgnine. Shall we rename the Mandela effect the Borgnine effect? In fact, no. Let's have it as a separate thing. The Borgnine effect is someone you don't know if they're alive or dead until you do research, and then again the research might be out of date, so that's the Borgnine effect instead of the Mandela effect. What else have we got? Bear with me while I just change hands with the mics, because this is hefty. Okay, we've got Jodie. Jodie turning up. She seemed happy enough, and he was, expecting the other guy to turn up. Well, that's it. And just doing the whole, hey, tell Yasmin you love her. Yeah, just step up Big Finish. The release comes out this month where we've got more Jodie fun. And you know what? The redemption of Jodie's story starts here. Because there's a lot of people didn't like Jodie on TV, and trust me, they will on audio, because Big Finish know what they're doing. I am not paid by Big Finish, right? I'm not. I just happen to prefer their take on Doctor Who. Do I need to talk about the elephant in the room yet? Not quite. At the end, where quite clearly a load of stuff that was shot this year gets rammed into the plot in order to try and make it a lot more palatable and give Ncuti a way out. Except I'm not sure he's actually gone. Am I in denial? Am I some sort of conspiracy theorist? Bear with me. So he lands on this grass after giving up regeneration energy / committing suicide. Except he's got an infinite amount of regeneration energy because he's the bloody timeless child, which makes the whole he could die at any time aspect of Doctor Who a bit redundant, yeah? It does make the Arc of Infinity a bit... No, not the Arc of Infinity, that other one with this pleasure cruiser and all the people stuck in limbo where he could have given his remaining lives. Makes it a bit cheaper, that story. Let's not get on with that one. So, he lands on the grass. Now, my daughter, bless her, turns to me and says, "Ah, brilliant. They've landed in Newton's garden so they can fix Mavity." She's sat through the last 2 and a bit seasons just on the vague hope that they're going to fix Mavity. That's it. Literally all she cared about, because it irritated her beyond belief. The Mavity universe, that's what this has always been. She just really wanted him to have landed on Newton so that he forgets about Mavity and turns it back into gravity, and that's the end. Because the storyline had finished. Before the business with the cot and the I remember a child and no, let's bring him back, no, let's not bring him back. Oh, let's sacrifice a life in order to bring him back. Well, let's not bother. It's been used to attract attention, to attract clicks. Yes, you could regenerate him. Yes, you could have had it cut at the same moment that the War Doctor was cut when he was becoming Christopher Eccleston, just out of sheer human dignity, not using a CGI version of Eccleston. Yes, Eccleston only did 13 episodes. This guy's done, 16, 17 stories? Okay, so it's more than Eccleston, but it's, and it's more than McGann, so he's the third least doctory doctor out there. Now, here's my thought. When they regenerate into Billy, it's done for effect. It's done to do us. But let's look at it. People have done a Zapruder thing, and there does seem to be someone standing behind Billy. And here's the thing that appeals to me. I think it's not the 16th Doctor. When it says introducing Billie Piper, it doesn't say as the 16th Doctor or as the new Doctor or anything like that. It just says introducing Billie Piper, which is stupid because we know she is, because we've been watching it since 2005. Yes, we've gone full circle, but you know what I mean. She didn't just play Rose. Pay attention at the back. She also, in the most watched Doctor Who story, she played Bad Wolf. She's the one who touched the centre of the TARDIS. You could have a new Doctor and Bad Wolf, the personification of the TARDIS, or either of those, or neither of those, being present, being a new companion. It gets Billie employed. It's happy. It also works if she's the new Doctor and she's there for like 3 stories or something, or 1 story or something like that. Because let's face it, we've got an infinite amount of Doctors to use now, and every single actor in equity can play the Doctor at some point. I stop quoting Colin Baker at this point. So, I'm of the opinion that this is a kind of fake-out, because that's what Russell likes. Russell loved the idea of an ultimate fake-out, where we were presented with a possible, is David Tennant really going to regenerate? That tickled him too much the first time, didn't it? Making him go, oh yeah, maybe it was a regeneration. Maybe that was the thing that happened. Part of me just won't mind. So is she the moment because the border between the worlds, between Norway, moved? I would think it might be the case. It might even be Rose from another space and time. Is that wishful thinking? Really, probably it is. So, with that, I'm going to say farewell, because some of you may not stick with me. Some of you won't come back to listen to my lovely Big Finish stuff, but I know for a fact that I've got Hooklight Part 2 ready to listen to, and it's all going to be all right. And I am definitely attending this year's Big Finish. So please, say hello if you come. Big Finish Day in Derby. Until next time, be seeing you. That was the Tin Dog Podcast. All topics discussed are the intellectual property of the copyright owners. No infringement is intended. Why not follow the show on Blue Sky at tindogpodcast.bsky.social. If you've enjoyed this podcast on YouTube, please click like and subscribe. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.